World, the 20th of May 2018, by Anjana Raghav China and the U.S. averted a trade war by reaching an agreement today under which Beijing has agreed to significantly increase its purchases of American goods and services to reduce $375 billion trade deficit with Washington. U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened punitive measures against Chinese goods if Beijing doesn't cut down trade deficit by $100 billion in a month and $200 billion by 2020. Here's more. In context, China-U.S. avert trade war against each other. China and the U.S. averted a trade war by reaching an agreement today under which Beijing has agreed to significantly increase its purchases of American goods and services to reduce $375 billion trade deficit with Washington. U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened punitive measures against Chinese goods if Beijing doesn't cut down trade deficit by $100 billion in a month and $200 billion by 2020. Here's more. The U.S. had said it has $375 billion trade deficit and $636 billion total trade last year. China said the trade deficit is around $200 billion. China too threatened a tit-for-tat retaliation but blinked an end with a categorical undertaking to import more goods from the U.S. To meet growing consumption of Chinese people, China will significantly increase purchase America's goods and services, the joint statement said. The two sides agreed on meaningful increases in the U.S.'s agriculture and energy exports, Vice Premier Liu He said, adding the U.S. will send a team to China to work out the details. The two sides also discussed expanding trade in manufactured goods and services. China will advance relevant amendments to its laws and regulations in this area, including patent law, joint statement added. Trade pact between the top two economies began last month with Trump imposing tariffs on steel and aluminum imports into the U.S. China retaliated by imposing additional tariffs worth about $3 billion on 128 U.S. products. Trump retaliated with $50 billion tariffs on Chinese products. In retaliation, China planned to impose new tariffs of 25% worth $50 billion on 106 American products. But tariffs haven't implemented yet. Meanwhile, the opposition Democratic Party criticized the Trump administration of having failed to make much progress in trade disputes with China. The key to a strong agreement is protecting our intellectual property in America and stopping the Chinese from keeping out our best goods. The joint statement has nothing specific on those fronts, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said. There is no mention of ZTE. If the administration capitulates on ZTE and allows it to continue to exist, even if they are fined, that will signal to President Xi that we are weak negotiators, Schumer alleged. Last month, U.S. blocked the Chinese ZTE corporation from importing American components for 7 years. But Trump later said he would help ZTE to get back into business. All rights reserved. Copyright News Bites 2018.